I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out, righteousness. All right, truth is not hate, segment number 4. A few months ago, when Joe Biden, my time, despicably withdrew from Afghanistan, leaving those people to the clutches and violence of the Taliban. There was a scene reported by one of the international cable channels regarding the marriage of, I believe, of a 9-year-old girl to a 65-year-old man. I may have those years, ages wrong, but they're close to it. I have the clip. I'm going to bring it up in just a moment. But, you know, this was very painful to watch. And when America saw it, they all thought about how evil that this is that's happening and how evil is attacking this child bride. And so I'm going to ask the engineer to let the clip run, and then I'll have some comments, Mr. Engineer. Put it on screen.
Parwana's family moved to this camp in Baghdis province 4 years ago after her father lost his job. Humanitarian aid and menial work, earning $3 a day, providing the basic staples to survive. But since the Taliban takeover 2.5 months ago, any money or assistance has dried up. And with 8 mouths to feed, Parwana's father is now doing the unthinkable. I have no work, no money, no food. I have to sell my daughter, he says. I have no other choice. Parwana, who dreams of going to school and becoming a teacher, applies makeup. A favourite pastime for little girls, but Parwana knows she is preparing for what awaits her. My father has sold me because we don't have bread, rice and flour. He has sold me to an old man. The white-bearded man who claims he's 55 years old comes to collect her. He's bought Parwana for 200,000 Afghanis, just over $2,000 US. Covered up, Parwana whimpers as her mother holds her. This is your bride, please take care of her, says Parwana's father. Of course I will take care of her, replies the man. His large hands grab her small frame. Parwana tries to pull away. As he carries her only bag of belongings, she again resists, digging her heels into the dirt. But it's futile. The fate of this small, helpless child has been sealed.
The fate of this small, helpless child. And I think the introductory part was that what was getting ready to happen to her was unthinkable. And how horrible that is. I mean, you would think that the father would rather die and let the child die before sending her to a life of death. But that's what's happening. And that's how awful. And everybody who saw that on television knows that that goes on in Islamic nations. And I'm not here to castrate or in any way speak ill against Islam, but we know that happens. But the reason why that's important today, because I want to tell you about something that's far worse than that, that's happening right here in America. The fact that America's education system is notable liberal Democrat politicians and its notable liberal media have all agreed that a 5-year-old girl can be taught by a 55-year-old man about her vagina. And not just about her vagina, but that if she desires not to have a vagina, she can choose to be a boy. A 55-year-old man can teach a 5-year-old girl about her vagina. That's a form of having sex with her. a 55-year-old woman or a 55-year-old man who calls himself a school teacher in America's public school systems can teach a 5-year-old boy about his penis and can tell that 5-year-old boy that if you choose not to be a boy, you don't want your penis, you can cut it off, or you can just decide to be bisexual, and that will be wonderful. Our culture accepts that. The teacher would say, the liberal media accepts it, President Joe Biden accepts it, all of the liberal politicians accept it, many of the churches accept it as a part of our culture, the way Islamic culture allows for a 9-year-old girl to be married to a 55-year-old man. Quite frankly, our children will be better off as Muslims rather than as Americans in the American education system. But one final thing as I go through this, truth is not hate. And by the way, I've explained, I'm not a hater, I'm just teaching the truth. Because now I'm getting ready to point out something about the racism and debauchery and unprecedented, patently profound evil that has swept itself up in America by 55-year-old men and women telling 5-year-olds in school about their sexual orientation. Not long ago, in a Senate confirmation hearing for then Senate candidate, Supreme Court Court Justice candidate Ketanji Brown Jackson, was asked by the senator from the state of Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, what is a woman? What is a woman? And by the way, what is it with these K, this Kamala, this Ketanji? You got to learn how to pronounce all these crazy names. Are these names that are cooked up someplace in Hades? At any rate, this woman who was 55 years old, who was being questioned about her candidacy to become a Supreme Court justice here in America, was asked a question by a senator, what is a woman? And her response was, well, I'll let you see. Mr. Engineer, it's going to probably take a little time to build up to it, but go ahead and roll that segment, Mr. Engineer.
I will tell you, too, with Georgetown Day School, I found it astounding that it teaches kindergartners, 5-year-old children, and I've got grandchildren, and they teach them that they can choose their gender. So is this what you were praising when you applauded the, and I'm quoting you, transformative power of Georgetown Day School's progressive education? Do you agree that our schools should teach children that they can choose their gender?
Senator, I'm not remembering exactly what quote you're referencing, but Georgetown Day School is
It was in a book, and you gave the quote. Okay.
Georgetown Day School is a private school.
Yes.
I'm
asking, do you agree that schools should teach children that they can choose their gender?
Pause for a second. We have more to do. Hold on, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We have more to this question by Senator Blackburn. This woman is 55 years old. She's the same age as that Muslim that took that 9-year girl away and married her. And he wanted that 9-year-old girl not because of her educational abilities, not because of her income, but because he wanted to have sex with her. Now, this is a 55-year-old woman headed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And she would not protect the 5-year-olds in America's school. She was asked poignantly by Senator Marsha Blackburn, do you support, disagree, or believe that a 5-year-old should be told they can choose their agenda the way a 55-year-old man can choose a 9-year-old bride? I tell you, this woman is far worse than that 55-year-old man in Afghanistan because she did not protect the innocents. And the thing that outraged you about that 9-year-old girl is that she was too young for that. She's too young. Not now, maybe later. She's too young. A 5-year-old is also too young, Ketanji. A 5-year-old is too young, Ketanji. Protect them. You're a 55-year-old woman. Protect the young people, Ketanji. All right, Mr. Engineer, continue.
Senator, I'm not making comments about
All right.
what schools can teach.
Let me ask you this then. United States versus Virginia, the Supreme Court struck down VMI's male-only admission policy. Writing for the majority, Justice Ginsburg stated, supposed inherent differences are no longer accepted as a ground for race or national origin classifications. Physical differences between men and women, however, are enduring. The two sexes are not fungible. A community made up exclusively of one sex is different from a community composed of both. Do you agree with Justice Ginsburg that there are physical differences between men and women that are enduring?
Senator, respectfully, I am not familiar with that particular quote or case,
Okay.
so it's hard for me to.
If you were familiar with it, she is stating it as a case by the Supreme Court upon which you're about to be seated. Do you agree with the court? Ketanji, I'll call you Justice Jackson. I don't mean to be insulted. Do you agree with the court that you're about to sit on? And you don't have to agree. You can say, I disagree with the court's decision that the distinction between male and female are enduring and they're not fungible. She could say that. She could say, I don't agree with that. Or she could say, I agree. But like a mafia criminal sitting in a courtroom trying to avoid the fact of truth. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
Okay.
Comment as to whether.
All right. I'd love to get your opinion on that, and you can submit that. Do you interpret Justice Ginsburg's meaning of men and women as male and female?
Again, because I don't know the case, I don't know how I interpret it. I need to read the whole
Okay.
thing.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide.
Well,
so I'm not.
The fact that you
All right, okay, Mr. Engineer. I
can't
think
give
we've heard enough of. Listen, everyone. In my humble opinion, I believed in the deepest part of my heart and in the deepest part of heaven that Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson lied 3 times to Senator Marsha Blackburn. I believe in the deepest part of my heart and the best parts of heaven that Ketanji Brown Jackson lied to the Senate and she lied to the American people. I mean, I thought I was watching, and I understand that you can't give full-throated opinions at these type of hearings because cases may come before you while you are on the bench that can later be used against you as a cudgel or as a sledgehammer to say you've already given an opinion. I understand that. I wasn't born at night. If I was, it wasn't last night. I understand that. But there's no question about what a woman is or what a woman is not. That question, that should have been answered definitively. Moreover, Judge Brown, I think the most grievous thing here is that Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson refused to protect the children in America's schools. She refused to say that a 5-year-old, like that 9-year-old girl in Afghanistan, should not be wed to that 55-year-old man. That's wrong. Whether it's the custom of Islam or not, it is wrong. It is a wrong custom. It needs to be turned around. The world needs to frown on it. The world needs to condemn it at the highest level. Don't let a 55-year-old man marry a 9-year-old girl. It's wrong. Whether it's a custom, whether it's the law of the land or not, it's wrong. It's wrong. But Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson refused to protect the 5-year-old children in America's school system by having 55-year-old men and women confuse them about their sexual orientation or organs. It's wrong. And she failed our children. She failed to protect them. She failed to acknowledge them. All that she might curry the favor of these wicked people who are promoting this unbelievable evil in our nation. Judge Ketanji Brown, I charge you, in my estimation as a man of God, of being a liar from way back when. You are a liar in my estimation. In my estimation, as a man of God, as a man who understands righteousness and truth, good and evil, I charge you, Ketanji Brown Jackson, as a liar before the court of America. I also charge you, Ketanji Brown Jackson, as one who refused to defend our children in the schools of America. Our 5- and 6-year-olds, you refuse to defend them by giving a definitive answer about the fact that they're being taught by 55-year-olds about their sexual choosing of gender. You refuse to protect our children. Ketanji Brown Jackson, I charge you with those charges. You are unfit, in my estimation, to sit on any court, at anywhere, at any time. You are unfit, in my estimation. And that America has gone down to a deep hole. And the very fact that you would not stand and defend the humanity's process of creation, of procreation for the past 10,000 years of humanity, the fact that you would not stand and defend that as the way, not necessarily of God, not necessarily of the Bible, but of the glaring truth of humanity itself and every aspect of our being, male and female, continuous humanity. You denied that. In my estimation, you are a liar, Judge Jackson. In my estimation, Judge Jackson, you refuse to defend the poor, the children, the weak, the innocent. In my estimation, Judge Jackson, you refuse to acknowledge what all the planet has acknowledged for years as truth. And so I would say to everybody who got on their high horse about the 9-year-old girl how horrific that was. And the 55-year-old man. Well, I don't condone him or applaud him. But if I had to choose, which I would loathe to have to make a decision, I would have to say that Ketanji Brown Jackson and others, the liberal media, Joe Biden, And others, they're all over everywhere. They're everywhere you can shake a stick with this molestation of 5-year-olds. I see clearly now that there is an evil that's in America now that wants to destroy or promote a civilization that God does not acknowledge and that God condemns. And as his pastor, as his preacher, as his servant, I will continue to raise my voice. I ask you to pray with me. I'm up here in Harlem, by the way, and I'm going to let you go. I'm up here in Harlem. I'm in the den of iniquity. You may disagree with a lot of things I say, and probably because you're just not, many of them are personal, like what I just said about her. You could disagree about some of the things I've said about you, that you do that are wrong and you don't take God's word serious. But I need your help up here. The children need my voice. Did you hear me today? The children need my voice because they've got the voice of Ketanji Brown Jackson on the Supreme Court, and she's got the microphones of the world. You need to help me lift up my voice. I need to lift up my voice and let it ring to earth and heaven. Lift up my voice is what you need to help me. Don't just sit there and judge me. And realize this. I am here to protect these innocent children. Who else will stand up for them? Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let us march on till victory is won. Help me. Help me. Help me help the children. Help me. There's so many things you could do. You could give. You could pray. You support. Tangibly. Who's going to protect the children? And God's going to ask you one day. God's going to ask that father that sold his 9-year-old girl to that Muslim, why did you do that? God's going to ask you one day when James David Manning tried to help the children against what I believe in my estimation to be a liar and Judge Ketanji Brown. And when he tried to defend that woman with all that power of the microphones of the world in the Supreme Court, did you help? Did you help my servant? Did you help him? He's going to ask you, did you help my servant save the children? Did you help him? Did you help him? I'm James David Manning, everybody. You know how to contact me. You know how to give. You know how to support. I'm the Lord's servant, and I always will be.
Child of the King is serving at all times. I am strong and I am blessed. I am special because of the Lord. Ooh, child of the King. Ooh, child of the King, child of the King, child of the King. I am chosen by God, a member of his royal family. I will succeed in all my studies, because the Lord is with me. Child of the King. Ooh, child of the King. Child of the King. Child of the King.
I will succeed in all my studies because the Lord is